What if some info aren't meant to be understood when they're first told? In 2023, an elite soldier, trained at the highest levels, shared a recurring patterns that appear across time. A rising star, a Hollywood legend, a modern tragedy. At the time, it sounded abstract, almost fictional. But for those raised on the X-Files, on Fringe, on the idea that reality hides layers beneath layers, the message was clear. But history doesn't reveal itself all at once. It waits, and when the pieces finally align, everything changes. And today, we revisit what was said now that the world may finally be ready to understand it.
Hardy Hale was born as male for first time in 2077, and then somehow he was 2 times de-aged or re-aged down. And somehow it ended up in bad way, and he wasn't born as a he, but as a she, and she is Audrey Hale, right? But Hardy Hale is his right name.
Ladies and gentlemen, who is Peter the Insider? Born in Slovakia, Peter trained with various elite military units, such as Army Rangers, SEAL 6, and Navy SEALs. Operating as the director for the ACIO's 12th Division, Peter's high security clearance gives him access to information most people only recognize in shows like the X-Files or Fringe.
This was shared to me by Jessica earlier today, all right? And this was regarding the shooting in Tennessee. Now, let me show this, where it's at. All right, so...
Do you want me to explain it?
Yeah, please go ahead, yeah.
Okay, I think, I don't know if this is appropriate or not, but I think they've referred to it as gender dysphoria, but the deeper part of it is more of our concern is the MILABing that is creating a lot of these problems. And so we're looking at, so Peter, you can get into that part more, but I'm going to lay out, what this image shows. You have Judy Garland, who was the prime character from The Wizard of Oz. That movie alone was a huge, tremendous impact on children for many, many, many generations. And it also did, a transfer from the black and white to finally Technicolor or colored movies, where you see these bright, vibrant colors and, before everything was in black and white. And so the introduction of that is this one movie that seems to transcend time. Like, it doesn't matter what generation it is. Most children gravitate towards The Wizard of Oz. And this was created by, MILABS or corporations that, Peter, you can tell us.
MILABS corporations, they are, and this is it, worldwide mega corporations, huge corporations, and most times DODs, so not only in US, DOD, my bad, Department of Defense, but not only in US, worldwide, they are, customers, because DODs, so Departments of Defense all around the world, have certain demands, and they are making like, okay, if somebody is capable of fulfill our demands, our needs, and those corporations are pretty much making some sort of rally for that. Do you know what I mean? And for them, they get them homeless. Literally, they wiped out of them once they started to be useless for them, for those corporations. They wiped them out of their complexes, of their laboratories, and they are either homeless, or maybe if they are not, and they've got some sort of high IQ, talents, gifts, and whatsoever, they've got 2 ways how can I say it, make their lives miserable. First, to make addiction addictions, my bad, mostly alcohol or drugs, mostly 90%, maybe some sort of gamblers, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In casinos and whatsoever, but this is the first stuff. Or second stuff, that they gave them some sort of idea that they don't know if they are straight or they are lesbian or they are gay. They don't know what the heck is going on in their heads, and that's the problem. So most cases, so Q as questioning. So this Q is like they are simply asking, and they don't know what the heck is going on because they really don't know. That's those two stuff, like either addictions or very unclear mind towards sexual orientation. And 95, 97, 98% of those cases were former victims of MILABS. Period. Period.
Now you know why there is so much addictions in the entertainment industry. As Peter the Insider mentioned, the #1 root cause of the addictions in the industry are due to military corporations' abductions, aka MILABS. Monarch, a nefarious organization, has been responsible for creating those addictions in the entertainment industry. For decades, the entertainment industry has shown the same patterns again and again: addiction, emotional collapse, identity, fragmentation. What if sex addiction, alcohol dependency, substance abuse, anxiety, dissociation aren't the root problem, but the aftermath? Mainstream explanations point to fame and pressure. What if fame doesn't break people, but exposes fractures that were already engineered as shared by insiders? In alternative research circles, these patterns are not accidental, but the psychological aftermath of alleged covert conditioning system, often described as Project Monarch, that exploits vulnerability, repetition, and control. And once you see those patterns, it becomes impossible not to ask, what if this explains everything? Monarch also created another situation via their frightful MILABS. Check this out.
That's the way it seems, Peter. And if you can give me a few minutes so I can kind of lay the groundwork of what I was looking at with each one of these pictures, and to kind of find it.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So Judy Garland was in The Wizard of Oz, and that movie came out in 1939. And it is just as popular then as it is now. Just about everyone in the U.S. knows the name of that movie and is familiar and had watched it at least once, if not multiple times. I knew people that had watched it many, many times over and over again. Judy Garland, just to confirm what you were saying, Peter, was a lifelong alcoholic. She also complained about some kind of sexual problems when she was younger. And so... yeah, just if you want, most people know, that was her real name, is Frances Ethel Gum. And, you look at her picture and she looks very similar to Millie Bobby Brown, who is very famous recently for the TV series Stranger Things, which is about what? Montauk, which is also another MILAB. And how she...
agenda whatsoever. Yep, you are right.
Time travel, MILAB. And they literally show her in a MILAB hospital scenario. And then we see, when I saw Audrey Hale, I was looking at her saying she looks very familiar to me. And you can see the striking connection of their appearance all together. And Audrey, needing to exact some kind of vengeance in the anger that has come out, but it's misdirected anger because the anger is from the MILABS, and they don't know how to do that. And they're also programmed as shooters, right? Is that some of the other programming that they're doing?
Absolutely, you are very right.
Peter confirmed that they are essentially the same person.
Yes.
All three, even though that they were Millie Bobby Brown still alive, as well as Audrey Hale, but Judy Garland is no longer physically here.
So give me a second. The stuff is that Audrey Hale wasn't Audrey Hale. Give me a second. First thing, he is from the future. Hardy Hale was born as male for first time in 2077, and then somehow he was 2 times de-aged or re-aged down, and somehow it ended up in bad way, and he wasn't born as a he but as a she, and she is Audrey Hale, right? But Hardy Hale is his how can I say right name.
If you've ever felt there's more beneath the surface, you're exactly where you need to be. This episode of the Galactic Talk will help you to comprehend how certain military megacorporations exert their dominance covertly in the entertainment industry. As explained by Jessica Marrocco, Judy Garland's struggles were not an isolated case. They reflect patterns seen in thousands of similar cases that have surfaced across decades of the entertainment industry. To understand why the name Judy Garland or other individuals still carries such emotional weight, we have to separate documented sources from the makeup that surround Hollywood's paradigm. What is historically documented is this: Judy Garland was placed under intense studio control from a very young age. She was overworked, chemically managed, and pressured to perform beyond human limits during the making of The Wizard of Oz and the years that followed.
Alongside this history, some researchers and insiders have shared unbelievable explanations for her suffering. These accounts describe several unwanted outcomes originated from the MILABS, a term used to describe military-linked ultra-psychological experiments, like those cases that were disclosed decades after the events have happened in North America. The truth doesn't shout, it echoes until it reaches the right ears. Garland's lifelong struggles were not random, but the result of covert experimentation and psychological conditioning tied to early Hollywood power structures. Some writers have even connected these case studies to monarch-style mind control narratives.
What is undeniable, however, is the outcome. A gifted child performer pushed into adulthood without protection, whose personal challenges intensified over time, ultimately leading to her early death. Whether one views her story through the lens of documented studio abuse, or through the X-Files type info that are disclosed, Judy Garland's life remains a cautionary tale about power, control, and the cost of fame inside an environment that appeared polished and complete on the surface, but concealed a far more fractured reality beneath. You don't have to believe everything you've heard. Just remember what you feel when it finally makes sense.